So here we go.
When it comes to men,
Can we get the
us
screen
women
up, guys?
place guys into 3 categories.
Oh, hold on. Let me push it back a little bit. No. By the way, I use this on my show. Yeah. And I had a whole section on this.
When it comes to men, us women place guys into 3 categories. The first category is the guy that we meet and we instantly just want. The sexual chemistry is high. We don't care what they do or how much they make, they are getting it. The second type is the guy that, he's okay. He's maybe not that good looking, but he's willing to spend money. He's going to pay our bills. He's going to buy us nice things. He's going to take us on all the dinner dates. But is he the one? No. Is sexual chemistry high? Or mid, probably. And then there's the third guy. The third guy doesn't have a shot in hell. There is nothing that he can do. There is no amount of money that he can make that would make us want him. He is a no right off the bat. Am I lying or am I telling the truth?
With a wink.
So I have like 10 categories.
Good.
Let's hear it. No, it's a long list.
What do you think, Amanda, of that?
I think it's real.
Yeah.
Just 3.
Yeah,
There's more than 3, right?
There's for sure more than 3. But I mean, there is that initial attraction where it's like, okay,
yeah,
like the primal, the primal humanness of you is really coming out, and then there's people that fill certain spots in your life, right? And it's like, okay, so like you're good for this, and you're good for this.
And they're not necessarily all in the same category.
Not in the same category. Men do it too. We just do it.
Sure.
Now. Yeah. It's just part of our life because now I think society is now conditioned to dating for entertainment and not connection.
Interesting.
100%.
Do you understand how if you're a guy and you're a guy who's dating you and you're like, well, you fill this one role, but before there was another guy who I immediately just had extreme chemistry with, and it's not you, how that would bother the guy that maybe you choose to be a partner with?
Well, put in a better performance.
Is that it?
Sorry.
No, I can see how that would.
Do you understand? Like, so the issue is, I don't think there's any problem with a woman who makes a man wait for sex. I think there's a problem, though, when a woman makes a certain guy wait for sex and another guy doesn't have to wait. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
And then later on, he finds out, he's like, you made me wait 2 months, but this other guy, you had sex with him, and now you guys are just friends? Get the fuck out of here. Do you understand what I'm saying?
But I've done that before. And
Okay.
like, if I genuinely like a guy, I'm going to make him wait.
Really?
100%.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you.
And then if I just need you for
sex, then then you're not going to make him wait.
No.
It's really funny how this is backwards. Are you the same way, Zoe?
Because then it's for my own.
I will not have sex with somebody like straight off the cuff. Like I need to. If there's no sexual chemistry, like what the fuck are we doing here?
So you want to know quicker. So this is what this is.
Faster.
This is the opposite.
I'm not saying like
we'll talk about emotional shit later.
This is hold on. But I've seen both of these. I've heard a woman say, "If I like you, I'm going to make you wait," and I've heard another woman say, "If I like you, I want to have sex quickly to figure out whether or not you're bad in bed." I've heard both things. This is why, like dating women, anything you guys tell me, I promise you, I will find a woman who says the opposite is true. She's like, I can't believe this guy tried to have sex with me doggy style. It was disgusting. And another woman's like, doggy style is my favorite thing in the world. Like I have seen absolutely anything you can imagine. The one girl's like, oh, I don't like guys that are too ripped, and another girl's like, I like guys who are like fucking mountains. It's like, it's just so crazy. I think this
over here. I like guys that are ripped.
Yeah,
I don't. I like skinny string being like 6 foot.
Then why don't you date a magic? Why don't you date a Magic Mike guy instead of a?
They're more jacked.
No, the Magic Mike guys are less jacked than the Chippendales guys. The Chippendale guy, no. The Magic Mike guys look like string beans. Yeah. Anyway. No, I just think it's really interesting. But I think that initially is where the problem lies. It's that like when a guy is like, hey, I've chosen to settle down with this girl, and then finds out that some other guy had sex with her off the jump. From your standpoint, your internal logic is saying, well, yeah, I made you wait because I like you more. But from his standpoint,
we're emotional creatures.
Correct. But from his standpoint, it's like, no, you didn't make him wait because you like him more. Because that's the way he's going to see it, and that's where guys get real. And by the way,
because men are analytical.
Yeah. Well, I mean, analytical, but we are also validated by sexual access. We're validated by the sex that women give us, or a better way to describe it is we are unvalidated by the sex we don't get, or the sex we have to wait for when someone else didn't have to wait. Does that make sense?
I think we're validated by the enthusiasm that a woman has to have sex with you. In the
For sure.
Like we were saying before, it has to be raw. Like it has to be that animal connection before anything else. So before emotion, before any kind of relationship. It's like I have to want to fuck that guy, right? That's genuine desire. That's what I'm saying. Is like that happens when that happens first. That's when that's what's going to lead to a much more healthier relationship in the end. If that woman wants you and has a genuine desire to like just rip your clothes off and to glory, right? That from that point on, once that's established, then everything else that comes after that is going to be that much more either legit or authentic after that.
All right, so let me ask the three of you: has there ever been a situation where you did not feel that chemistry initially, but then ended up liking the guy anyway?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you describe like what was that situation like? Initially, you felt what, and then what happened?
Initially, I really didn't feel anything, and then you get to know somebody, and the way that they treat you or whatever, their personality starts to come through, and you're like, oh, wait a second, I'm seeing something that maybe I didn't see initially, but then it turns into like a 5-year relationship. So
the reason why I like this is because this is one of the key tenets that I try to describe in my course is the ability to manufacture attraction. Men can manufacture attraction. Women, it's much more difficult for them to do this, but men can. When you don't understand you can manufacture attraction, that's why guys go direct, because those guys don't want to try to manufacture attraction. And if you're really good looking and you have a Lamborghini, you don't have to manufacture attraction. You already have it. So you don't have to try as hard, so you can't go direct. Has this ever happened to you, where there was a guy you just you didn't have any feelings for him, and you got to know him?
100%. And also it depends on what you're looking for. Like I've dated a guy who got his legs blown up. You know, he had like his hips replaced. They had to push him around in a wheelchair, clean him, like, you know. And so when you're looking for someone, you have to keep in mind that anything could happen to that person, and you're not sexually attracted, you're just going to leave. I think that's such a selfish way to look at when you're trying to invest in a person. Initially it was the same thing. That's what goes through my head. It's like, do I like this person? What's their energy like? Because energy is, I think, is the highest currency, like as opposed to looks nowadays. Anyone can be good looking, anyone can be rich, anyone can be good looking, anyone can be famous in this day and age. You know, energy is like speaks everything, you know.
So he's like, fuck that, they got to be hot as shit. I don't care about
anything. I'm leaving Stumpy at the hospital.
Well, I mean, the opposite can occur too, where a girl finds a guy attractive and then he does some simp shit, and it turns her off.
It's funny. That's more actually, Logan. That's way more likely.
Yeah.
Guys, the thing you have to understand is that most women don't like most men.
Yep.
It's hard for a lot of people to hear, but it's just true. On average, women find women find like in a what's it called, unfamiliar environment. Women will say a man who's an 8. Like when I say an 8, meaning like if we stratified the number of right swipes this guy gets on a dating app, if a man who's an 8, she will call him a 5. And a man who's a 7, she will call him a 4 or a 3. And a man who's a 9, she'll call that guy a 7. Like, that's how women see men in a short-term dating context. Most of the time, men right swipe 55% of the time on dating apps. Women right swipe 5% of the time on dating apps. Women are just not as interested in men as the other way around. And so because of that, that's why you get into these situations like what you're talking about before. But when you got to know him, what are we doing? We're going from an unfamiliar environment to a familiar environment. And now the guy who normally would not have had a chance against Brock the bartender or Steve the male stripper, now this guy has a chance now. Now Alex the accountant has a chance with you because you got to see how he treats you or any of the other things. Maybe he's funny. Maybe he's got cool alignments. Maybe he's got hobbies that you find interesting or attractive. Right? But the idea...
And you establish a connection.
Correct.
And then that usually turns into a relationship.
Sure. But here's the difference. Me as a man, I can't look at a woman and be not physically attracted to her and then find out that she collects Autobots and then all of a sudden it's hard. It doesn't work like that. You guys understand? It's like, oh, really? That's amazing. You're a Cowboys fan too? It does not get hard. It doesn't matter. There's nothing you can do if I'm not physically attracted. So there's a difference. One of the things we talk about on the show is like, I don't want to be offensive. I don't want to deliberately be offensive. I know I'm offensive, but I don't want to deliberately be offensive. But I do want to discuss innate sex differences between the genders because that's one of the things that is trying to be curtailed. When you say things like, as a biological woman, which isn't true. What you're doing is trying to say we're all the same, and we're not all the same. That's the thing. And it's okay that we're not all the same.
Yeah.
It's wonderful that we're not all the same. It's terrific. I would not like Delia as much if she had as much testosterone as I did. She would be intolerable. She'd be fucking
it is
intolerable.
getting a little bit more blended now.
It is.
Of course, no. Right, but well, here's the thing.
the American
Society.
food, baby.
Oh, this is a great point. Society is trying to make us more blended, but as we do that, see, I don't think of things in good or bad. I think of things that they work or they don't work. And the reality is, trying to make everyone equal actually, in the end, doesn't work.
Yeah, it's not
it
natural.
Doesn't. Well, forget about it. I mean, natural is part of it. Not being natural makes something inefficient, but like there's certain things that just simply don't work. That some things work and some things don't work. What were you saying?
Yeah, well, guys and girls being the same or having the same masculine and feminine energy, because a lot of girls are now balanced where they have a lot of masculine energy. Now guys and girls, they're not attracted to each other, and they need super fucking masculine dudes to pull them out of that masculine energy.
But do you understand the problem? Like, so what you're saying, while you and I know it to be true, the idea, if you've seen this, what was the article? I don't know if you can find it, where progressive liberal women were looking to date conservative men because all the liberal men that they had to choose from were so non-masculine that it turned them off.
Yeah.
Because what they wanted to believe is that they lived in a world where men and women were the same, and they could still be sexually attracted to men that were just as feminine as them. And then in reality, Charles Darwin knocks on the door and it's like, hey, natural selection, bitch. Like, in reality, men in their masculine, on average, in general, are more attractive, and women who are feminine, on average, are more attractive to the opposite sex in a heterosexual relationship. That's the way it works. And here's the funny thing about the polarities. When you look at gay and lesbian relationships, you also find a masculine and feminine polarity, because the polarity is what makes it work. So you can find a top and a bottom with women, or with men, and then what is it with women? It's a oh God, I can't remember. It's a bear. I forgot what the terms are. But
Stud.
yeah, a stud and a butch or whatever. I can't remember what it is.
The pillow princess?
Yeah, the pillow princess, whatever it is. No, lesbian would not be a pillow princess. You're a pillow princess? Yeah. So you guys, for those of you who don't know what a pillow princess is, that means you have a threesome and one girl would go on her, but she wouldn't go on the other girl. That's what a pillow princess is. That's what it means.
I want
That
that
means
pillow fight.
that means you're 49% gay. If you're over 51% gay, you would go another woman. That's how it's determined. That's actually the scientific way to determine pillow princess.
Well, we know one girl who would be perfect to ask about the liberal going for the conservative masculine guy.
Who?
Farrah.
Farrah, of course.